Hi guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. I'm only gonna be here for just a second, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining me earlier because I came on twice today, and I think the first one was the sunrise surprise. So I'm thinking we're gonna we might make a habit of that. There's one particular subject that I kind of want to expound on, and it's actually dealing with something that we talked about. We've been talking about food supply and not only disruptions in the food supply, but how things are affecting us overall, whether it's mind, body, dare I say spirit, and in addition, just functionality. I talk about meta thinking and how I'm a big advocate for meta thinking. So there's this one little piece, it's on, it's the National Pulse, I believe it is. And they talk about, it's getting a little bit into precancerous cells and the possibilities with the U.S., approving these lab-grown meats, that kind of it. I think you know what I'm on about. So let me find the liner really quickly. I'm going to be here in a second. I'm just trying not to make this a studio stream, but it'll only take a second. Believe me. Okay. So this one is coming from our friends. It's National Pulse is what this one is. So give me just a second. I'm having just a little bit of a mouse here. National Pulse. Well, let's just go to, hang on here. You guys are doing well on your hump day. I hope you guys are doing really well on your Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna give you the liner and then maybe we'll go into it. I haven't read the whole thing, but just wanted you to know that it's out there, that people are publishing. They're talking about it. They're talking about things that, of course, they don't want you to talk about so much. Shh. Okay, so this one is National Pulse, and the liner goes something like, "We could eat malignant chicken tumors by the bucket load. Lab-grown meats, impending cancer problem." Okay, and that is out of the National Pulse, without a doubt. Okay, so this one says a lab-grown meat touted as the cruelty-free food of the future by everyone from the World Economic Forum to Hollywood mega celebs like Leonardo DiCaprio may have a fatal problem, according to a new Bloomberg story. Okay, yeah, that's what this one is. This is the problem is that the materials used to make the product immortalized cell lines replicate forever, just like cancer, which means in effect that they are cancer. Although these cell lines are widely used in scientific research, they've never been used to produce food before. Talk about throwing caution to the wind, right? So here you have in large quotation marks, it says immortalized cells. This is a quote, it comes out of the Bloomberg. Hang on a second. Not sure why they decided to make this. I mean, this is a beautiful infographic, but it's not appropriate for this particular headliner. But okay, I can back up here. But it says industry types are, quote, confident, in quote, that eating such products poses no risk, although there isn't any hard data. But it's not difficult to see, even if the products are, quote, proven safe, how people might be put off by the thought that they are eating a glorified tumor. So I'm just, I kind of want to pump the brakes right here. Really, so it says, all the evidence suggests that the most prominent producers of these new products, including the big three startups, Believer Meat, Eat Just, Upside Foods. Now, we've looked at On this particular channel, we've been on to the Upside Foods as well as the Eat Just. We've been on that before, okay? We really have. So, you know, I think I do my diligence around here. I think that's fair, right? I think so, you know. But Eat Just and Upside Foods are doing their best to avoid confronting the issue in public. But whether they'll be able to do so after this latest blast of high quote profile negative publicity remains to be seen. The story comes at a time of growing difficulty for new alternatives to traditional animal products, especially so-called plant-based meats. The beginning of the month was reported on the ongoing problems faced by Impossible Foods, which is laying off 20% of its workforce, or nearly 140 staff. Plant-based meats have gone from double-digit growth to double-digit decline in the last year, with sales of refrigerated meat alternatives falling by 10.5% from the year to September 4th, 2022. Okay, so a lot going on, right? In response to another cover story from Bloomberg Business Week, which labeled the plant-based meats, quote, just another fad, and quote, Impossible took the bold step of taking out full-page advertisements in the New York Times to counter claims. Impossible's new CEO, Peter McGinnis, has put the company in a more confrontational stance, which includes denying the mounting evidence that his company and others like it are in serious trouble. Okay, so then you go on to Beyond Meat. You know, we've talked about Bite Labs. We've visited Bite Labs as well on this particular channel. So you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna keep going. So Beyond Meat, by contrast, has barely even been able to put on a brave face. Shares in the company plunged 75% in the first 3 quarters of the last year, and its flagship pilot collaboration with McDonald's, the McPlant Burger was discontinued by the fast food giant. Okay, so they keep going. Lab-grown meat, hype and reality. So they're trying to give you a little piece, you know, of both there. Okay, massive amounts of money have already been raised by companies in lab-grown meat, in the lab-grown meat segment of the alternative food industry. Believer Meat, Eat Just, and Upside Foods, the quote big three, have raised $1.2 billion in venture funding in the hope that one day, very soon, their products will be sold in stores. These new companies have the backing of organizations like the World Economic Forum, which has proposed a, quote, planetary health diet built around plant-based and alternative protein sources. Activist celebrities are also providing very public support as well as financing for the new technology. In 2021, for instance, Leonardo DiCaprio brought an unspecified stake in 2 lab-grown meat companies, Mosa Meat and Aleph Farms, after an earlier investment in Beyond Meat. So you see, what was it, Bite Labs or Celebrity Meat? You know, they kind of got rid of that whole site. They ditched that site, and you might be able to find it. You might be able to dogpile it out, you know, some other way. But, you know, right now, you know, you can't quite get to it. But I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. We'll continue this definitely tomorrow. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in.